So, welcome everyone. Good evening. Again, we will start with a short breathing, mindful breathing meditation to quiet our mind, watching the breath mindfully. Then we can try to generate the motivations, the purpose of our life is not only just be concerned with ourselves, but to be benefit and help to others as well. And there are so many different ways that we can be helped, benefit. But the most greatest help and benefit that we can do for others is to help them to reduce and overcome their own those afflictive negative emotions. And to be able to help them to do that with our own direct experience, we ourselves need to reduce and overcome our own defilements. And we can only do that through our practice, meditation, contemplation. And to be able to practice and meditate, contemplate correctly, we need to learn, study, and be reminded. And for that reason, for that purpose, that's why we are here. For that purpose, we are here to listen, to reflect, contemplate. And may engage in a listening, question and answer discussion, reflection, contemplation. May all of these become cause and conditions to achieve our own highest potential of fully awakened state. So we can help to liberate all sentient beings from all their suffering, cause of suffering, and help them to achieve their ultimate happiness. then if you can share the prayers. Yeah.
Thank you, Chela. Praise to the Shakti Buddha, to the founder, the endowed transcendent and destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Shugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, to the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all three ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms, in all aspects with supreme faith, I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha, a star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing. Subdue the foe of false and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. The heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagavan was dwelling on a massive vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perception. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the great practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to the unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is declared, Ayata, Om, Gate, Gate, Para Gate, Para Sam Gate, Bodhi, Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from the concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Saji Bhakti Yukshin Medo Ramri Ramisi Nidegen Adi Sangye Shindu Mikte Upa Idrokunamada Jingla Chubaso Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Nidiyatayami Sangye Chodang Choknam La Jangchu Batu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chushengi Pesonamgi Dola Penchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chodang Soki Chonam La Jangchu Batu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chushengi Pesonamgi Dola Penchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chodang Soki Chonam La Jangchu Badu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chushengi Pesonangi Dola Penchir Sangye Drupasho.
Sangye Dujanye Rone, Tawadam Jebang Beje, and Bishwini Dujebe, Podam de la Shatsa Lom. So we have come to the sections where Nagarjuna discuss about the dependent arisings, where he just started dependent arisings. Earlier many of the verses, different reasoning logics, he explained how things do not exist inherently, and again, one of the reasons why things do not exist inherently is because all phenomena, all things, all objects are dependent arising. They can only exist by depending on other conditions, other factors and cause. And in terms of present the dependent arising, he explained dependent arising of the samsara from the point of view of 12 link. How each of links exists by depending on other previous link, and how each of previous link produce the following link, how they are, interconnected. One link is cause of the result of previous link, and that become cause of the next link. In that way, how everything's dependent arisings. Without depending on the previous link, the following link cannot come to exist, cannot produce. And so that he present the 12 link. We spoke a little bit last week about 12 link. So that is presentation of the dependent arising, internal dependent arising, especially the dependent arising of how samsara exists and why there is suffering. why there is suffering in samsara, why there is samsara, and so that that was where we just. So we finish verse number 59. Yeah. So through understanding, that even though everything is dependent arising, each of those links are dependent arising, but to our mind, they appear to exist inherently, and therefore, there is a difference between the appearance and the way they exist. Therefore, they all of them are like a dream, all of them like an illusion, and so meditating, contemplating, and trying to see everything as like a dream, like an illusion. So next here, this wheel of 12 link roll along the road of cyclic existence. Outside this, there cannot be sentient beings experiencing fruit of their deeds. So here it says, why sentient beings continue to circle in samsara and experience the suffering in samsara, and that is due to the 12 link. That's due to the 12 link, And there is 12 link. There's a 12 link because of the 11 link. There's 11 link because of the 10 and so forth, So depending on previous cause and conditions, and therefore dependent arising. Due to dependent arising, there is that 12 link, and due to 12 link, then sentient beings continue to take rebirth in samsara and experience the suffering of samsara. Outside this, there cannot be any sentient experience. That means, there is no sentient beings who is experiencing result of their deeds of karma, unpleasant experience due to their, non-virtues or negative karma, pleasant experience due to virtues that without depending on cause, no sentient beings experience different experiences or the deeds or result of their actions, different experiences without cause. They all experience due to the cause, due to dependent arising cause. Nor those experiences are created by some kind of permanent self, or nor they are created by, permanent creator agencies, but they all are there because of their previous cause and conditions. So that is why all sentient beings experience their experience, pleasant, unpleasant, because of their actions. And so therefore it depends on their action. Their actions dependent on the mind that motivate to engage in such actions. So they are dependent arising. So therefore they are, impermanent. It comes from previous cause and conditions. It doesn't come without any cause. It is not like they experience without any cause, nor they experience with a permanent cause, such as permanent self, nor they experience such different result of different deeds, the experience that is created by some kind of permanent creator agency, creator agency. But we all experience due to their cause and condition. So that is what it is. So that is that one. And next, just as in dependency upon a mirror, a full image of one's face appears. Face do not move into the mirror. Without it, there's no image of the face. So again, explaining dependent arisings. When you look your face in the mirror, there is an image of your face appearing in that mirror, But there's no real face in the mirror itself. It's just the image of the face. The face hasn't really gone into the, moved or, moved and had gone there, and then there is a real face into the mirror. There's no real face into the mirror, but there is appearance of that face in the, or image or the appearance of that, And that happens because of coming together of the mirror and the face. And then by depending on, each other's. Because there is face, therefore you see the image of the face in the mirror. Without the face, you cannot see the image of the face in the mirror. Also, without a mirror, even the face is there, you cannot see the image of your face there. So, in order to have the image of the mirror depend on the face depend on the mirror, and depending arising, how they depend each others, So the image mirror cannot appear by itself without depending on other factors, The face depending on the mirror depending on the face, coming together, then meeting them, coming together, meeting of them through that, the mirror cannot, the image of the mirror or the face in the mirror cannot exist by itself without depending on other conditions, factors. So therefore, again, it's dependent arisings. Likewise, similarly, aggregates recompose in a new existence. Recompose in new existence, as the wise always understood. That no one is born in another existence, nor does someone transfer to such existence. In the same wise, by depending on the cause conditions, just as we spoke in the 12 link, due to, continuity of the self or the consciousness, then when you die after your death, then due to the continuity of the self or the consciousness, then it is conceived in another form, in another existence as another beings, While there is another, taking another life, another form of life, another form of existence through the continuity of that aggregate, whether it's the self or there is the consciousness, there is. Even though there is the wise one, who understand the reality, the emptiness, understand that no one is born in another existence. No one is born in another existence or in another life, another form of life by itself without depending on other factors, by itself from its own side without depending on other factors. Nor does someone transfer to such existence, nor does someone without depending on other factors and conditions and the causes transfer into something like one permanent things transfer to another permanent things. It's not like that, but due to impermanent, then there is continuity of that. Due to continuity of that and many other causes and conditions, then such there's a there is another form of life coming to existence or being born, but there's no inherent existing birth. There's no inherent existing, taking another form of life. If that is the case, then it become, it doesn't depend on other factors, conditions. Just like the image of the mirror and mirror, only by depending on other factors and cause and conditions, there can be that image. Same way, there can only be a continuity of the life and born in a different form of life or existence by depending on cause and conditions. It cannot take rebirth or another form of life without depending on cause and conditions. So in brief, the next one, 63. In brief, from empty phenomena arise. So in brief, all phenomena are empty of inherent existence. Empty of inherent existence. All phenomena are empty of inherent existence. And because all phenomena are empty of inherent existence, therefore, from that emptiness, all phenomena arises, come into existence and functions. Chandrakirti in his middle way, he also explains similar, from emptiness, phenomena arises. In another Nagarjuna own writing, because of emptiness, everything is possible. If it's not emptiness, nothing is possible. So similar here. What makes everything possible? What makes all phenomena possible? What makes the phenomena to arise and come into existence is because of the emptiness. Because everything is empty of inherent existence, therefore everything is dependent arising. Therefore, nothing is independent, but everything is dependent arising, dependent origination. Because all phenomena are dependent arisings, therefore, when certain cause, condition, when certain factors, condition come together, then it makes possible for certain existence to arise, certain phenomena to arise, certain phenomena to come into existence. And that is why everything becomes possible. That is why, samsara is possible, as well as end of samsara is possible. Because, samsara dependent arisings. Due to certain cause and conditions, such as to link, samsara exists. When you stop the 12 link, or the root of the 12 link, then we can stop the samsara and come into the samsara. So when we are able to stop ignorance, when there is no more ignorance, then there is no action created due to that ignorance. And then when there is no actions, karma being created by the ignorance, then there is no karmic seed to be planted in the consciousness. And like that, and then there is no more samsara. All these become possible because they all are dependent arising, because they all are empty of inherent nature, inherent existence. So therefore, agents, karma, fruit, the sentient beings, agents who create the karma, the person or the sentient being, and the karma, the actions they engage in, whether it's a virtuous action, whether it's non-virtuous action, whether it's neutral actions, they create different actions or different karma. As a result of that karma, then they experience different fruit, result of such karma, due to virtuous actions, you experience pleasant experience. Due to non-virtuous actions, you experience unpleasant experience. Due to neutral actions, you experience more neutral experiences, neither pleasant, unpleasant. Due to three types of actions, karma, then you experience three different experiences, the fruit or result of that. And they enjoy it. And the sentient being, the persons, who experience those different experiences. So there is all this is possible. All this is possible. All this is possible because all of them are dependent arising. Because of dependent arisings. All this is possible, and all this can exist. All those can experience and arise because of dependent arising, because of emptiness. And so the conqueror, the Buddha, thought those to be only conventional. And all this, Buddha thought they all exist on conventional level. On conventional level, there is an agency, we engage into actions. And there is the actions that has been created by the agencies. And due to engaging in that actions, there's the result, different experiences. And then there is the persons or sentient beings who experience those different. All this, there is all of that, but all in conventional level. If you try to find what is that agency, if you try to find what is that actions, where is that actions within the part of that action, within the part of that agency, within the part of that result, within the part of that the sentient who experience, with that kind of ultimate analysis, we cannot find them. You cannot find them. While when you do that kind of ultimate analysis, while you cannot find them at the same time due to coming together of many conditions, factors, and cause, condition, and factors, there's a function of each of them, and there is that. And so therefore, those are all on conventional level, not on ultimate level. And therefore, as Milarepa said, similar what he said, on ultimate level, not only there is no obstacles, there is not even enlightenment. But on conventional level, then there's obstacle, there's enlightenment, there's creator of the obstacles. So similarly, that is, before that, the negating is, we are negating that nothing exists on ultimate level. or inherently existence. But that doesn't negate the existence, Even though there's no ultimate, it doesn't exist ultimately or inherently, but there is existing on conventional level and functioning of that on conventional level. So that one kind of explain more the dependent arising of the internal world. Next, it starts the dependent arising of external world, external phenomena, external world. Just as the sound of the drum as well as a shoot are produced from collection of factors. So if you say, when there is a sound that made by the drums, the sound is made by depending on many factors. There is the person who's drumming, there's the stick or whatever you call true drum, there's the drum itself, and that drum is made with many factors. And then there is some kind of space. I don't know if there's no space, whether you can hear the sound, if there is no space. So due to all those factors, then you hear the drum sound, and that sound come through many causes and conditions, many factors, depend on many factors. If those factors are not there, then there wouldn't be the sound of the drum. Same when there is a sprout or shoot from a seed of any plant. When there is a shoot or sprout coming from that, it depends on many factors, conditions. The seed itself, the water, the moisture, the light, heat, and if someone plant, the planter, whatever, So due to all the factors, condition, cause, condition, factor coming together, then there is shoot, there is sprout. And from that, then there is the plant and whatever. So just giving 3 examples here, how they are dependent arising by depending on many other, not just one cause and conditions, or not just one factor, many factors. Many cause, condition, many factors. Collection of factors, many factors. In the same, so we accept the external world, not only the internal world, the experience of the sentient beings, but also the external world also are dependent origin, dependent arising. And not only the internal world, internal experience, such as 12 link, are like an illusion dream, even the external world are also to be like a dream and illusions. So both internal and external world, both internal and external phenomena, all phenomena, all objects, all things are dependent arising, dependent origination. Therefore, none of those phenomena can exist inherently because they all are dependent arising. Even though they are not inherently existence, but due to our strong karmic imprint and the delusion, especially the ignorance and the strong imprint from the past, all objects, all phenomena appear as inherent existence. Even though they do not exist inherently, but they appear inherent existence to our mind. Why does it appear inherent existence in our mind that way? Because of the strong imprint from the past, because of that ignorance and delusion, and the imprint led by those ignorance and delusion. And there is appearance of inherent existence. There's appearance of object that exists by itself from its own side. Even though that is not the how things really exist, but there is that appearance. And so therefore, again, there is a difference between the appearance and the difference the way they exist. And therefore, all of those phenomena are like an illusion, like a dream. And therefore, we should learn, practice, and train to see everything like an illusion, everything like a dream, and not believing in the appearance of inherent existence. Not believing in the appearance of the object we exist from its own side by itself. By understanding they are like an illusion, like a dream. By understanding there's a difference between the appearance and the way things exist. Okay. The next ones, that phenomena are born from the causes. So especially the conditioned phenomena, the condition and functional phenomena are born from causes. It causes and condition, many causes, conditions. Can never be inconsistent with the fact. The fact is they are dependent arisings. Since the cause is empty of cause, we understand it to be empty of originations. So the cause is empty of cause. The cause itself, we talk about how all conditioned phenomena are dependent on cause. Okay. Therefore, the result, the conditioned phenomena are empty of inherent existence because it's dependent on origination, because it's dependent on its causes. Even the cause themselves are empty of inherent existence. Even the cause depend on its previous cause. Therefore, even the cause are empty of inherent existence or existing by itself or from its own side. And we discussed, I think, in Sunday a little bit, We take one example of cause. Let's say a seed of a plant. The seed of plant is not caused by itself. It do not exist as a cause by itself. It is only caused in relation to the result it produces. That seed, when it's planted, and then the sprout shoot comes, and then whatever plant it grows, in relation to that the plant, that seed was caused. But it is a result in relation to the previous plant, which give that seed. Okay. For example, maybe sunflowers. When that sunflower produce certain seed. Okay. That seed of that sunflower is not a cause but result of that sunflower. The sunflower is the cause of that seed. In relation to that sunflower is result. In relation to the next sunflower it produces is the cause. But the seed itself by itself is neither cause, neither result. You get it? By itself. It's neither cause, neither result. It can be cause, it can be result in relation to other factors, but by itself is neither cause, and so therefore that cause itself is empty of inherent existing, empty of existing by itself from its own side. And we can only talk of cause if there's a result. If there's no result, we cannot say it's cause. Cause is dependent on result to be known to be a cause. And the result can be only result if there is a cause. So cause is dependent on result, results is dependent on cause. Then again, mutual dependent arises. That is again another kind of unique of Prasangika or Nagarjuna point of view. Many of other school of thought, they will say the result is dependent on cause, but they wouldn't say cause is dependent on result. They will not say mutually dependent arising. They will say it's dependent arising, the result being dependent on the cause. But Nagarjuna or the Prasangika is not only the result dependent on the cause, even the cause depend on the result to be a cause. If there is no result, it wouldn't be a cause. How can you say something cause if it cannot produce a result, if there's no result of that? And so therefore we understand it to be empty of origin. So therefore we understand cause is empty of being an origin or cause by itself. The cause cannot be caused by itself from its own side. Therefore, the cause is empty of existing as a cause by itself from its own side. Non-origin. So non-originations or non-arisings of inherent existence, okay, of phenomena, non-arising or non-originations of inherent, no inherent origination, no inherent arising of the phenomena is clearly taught to be emptiness. So when we talk emptiness, when you talk about non-arisings, we talk about something that is non-inherent existence. So a phenomena existing, by not depending on origin or not, there's no phenomenon that can exist or arise without the cause, conditions, factors, origins. And so the empty of such origin or non-origin of such phenomena is then clearly taught the emptiness. When you talk about emptiness, so here Nagarjuna is saying when we talk about emptiness, or when Buddha talk about emptiness, what is referring is empty of, non-inherent existence, empty of non-dependent arisings. In brief, the five aggregates are denoted by the expression of phenomena. So here, sometime, all phenomena sometimes can mean, every phenomena, or sometimes it means the conditioned phenomena such as five aggregates. In other words, all conditioned phenomena can be summarized or contained within the five aggregates. Okay. When ultimate 67, when ultimate truth is explained as it is, the conventional truth is not abstracted. Independent or conventional, without dependent on conventional truth or reality, no ultimate truth can be found. So here is talk about truth. Just as Chandrakirti in his, again, middle way, he says, all phenomena has two truths. Every phenomena, external, internal, all phenomena has two truths. Every phenomena has ultimate truth and conventional truth in each simultaneously, so they don't contradict each other. The ultimate truth doesn't contradict conventional truth. Conventional truth does not contradict ultimate truth. They do not obstruct each other, or they do not contradict each other. Instead, they support each other. Instead, they what was the right word? Supplement each other. It's same in Heart Sutras when Buddha says, form is empty, emptiness form. That is when he's talking about truth. Form is emptiness, ultimate truth. Emptiness is form, is the conventional truth. Emptiness not other than, form is not other than emptiness, emptiness not other than form. It explains how those two truths does not contradict each other. But instead, here is the abstract, how they do not abstract or contradict each other, but instead they supplement each other, they support each other. Those two are same entity, different, you can say isolations, but same entity. It's just like two sides of the same coin. Same side with two coins, head and tail. If you look at the head, it's different from the tail. The tail is different from, but it is same coin. Do you get it? Same way, the entity of the ultimate reality and conventional reality are same. They are no same entities, So they are, and it is important to understand. If we don't understand that, then when you try to meditate on emptiness, then sometimes due to misunderstanding of that, then you reject a conventional phenomena. Then you reject the conventional phenomena. Since everything's emptiness, since everything's empty, therefore I can do anything. There's no consequences of my actions. My actions is empty. I am empty. The result of that actions is empty. Therefore, the consequences of that action is empty. When we come to that kind of understanding, this misconception, misunderstanding, that is when ultimate reality obstruct, contradict the conventional reality, negate the conventional reality. That means the understanding of the ultimate reality has not been correct. It is misunderstood, misperceived. If it is something correctly understood, that wouldn't be the case. If someone understands emptiness or ultimate reality unmistakably, they will not negate the conventional world, conventional phenomena. So therefore, the ultimate truth cannot be found or exist without the depending on conventional realities. For example, if we talk about the cup is a conventional reality, so the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality of this cup, the cup itself in general is a conventional reality, due to certain conditions, factors, put together, it has certain functionings of cup to hold the tea, water, whatever. So that is what we call cup in our conventional world. That is what it functions. That is a conventional reality of the cup. That is the conventional reality. But the ultimate reality, this cup, the emptiness of this cup, cannot exist without that cup. If there's no cup, there is no emptiness of cup. If there's no chair, there's no emptiness of the chair. If there's no me, there's no emptiness of me. If there's no you, there's no emptiness of you. So each of those emptiness, to be emptiness of particular phenomena, it depends on that phenomena, the conventional phenomena, the conventional world. Conventional is thought to be emptiness. So it is very similar like in the House Sutra, form is emptiness. Here, conventional is thought to be emptiness. Form is emptiness. Emptiness itself is conventional. So here that means like form is empty, emptiness form. Same like here. So conventional phenomena, any conventional phenomena or conventional existence is thought to be empty of inherent existence. They all are empty of inherent existence. There's no conventional phenomena or existing that is not empty of inherent existence. Just like there's no form that is there's no form that is not empty of inherent existence. All the form are empty of inherent existence. Not only the form, all the conventional phenomena are empty of inherent existence. Therefore, conventional thought to be emptiness. Emptiness itself is conventional. The emptiness itself, the way it exists, is on conventional level. The emptiness cannot exist on ultimate level. Even if you try to analyze what is emptiness. What is emptiness? Again, the emptiness cannot exist by itself from its own side without depending on other factors, conditions. Therefore, the emptiness itself is empty of inherent existence. It's emptiness, empty of existing ultimately. And therefore, the way emptiness exists is on conventional level. Not only the conventional phenomena exist conventionally, but even the emptiness, the ultimate truth, even that one exists on conventional level. If it exists ultimate level, if it exists on ultimate level, then it has to be able to exist by itself from its own side, ultimately, without depending on other factors. Just as just mentioned before, the emptiness of this page or this text cannot exist without this page, without this book. So that emptiness of this page depends on that other factors, other phenomena. Since emptiness itself depends on other factors, other conditions, therefore is dependent arising. Since it's dependent arising, therefore it cannot exist ultimately. Therefore, it can only exist on conventional level. Since it do not exist on ultimate, so then again, there's no object to cling, grasp on. So here, one does not occur without others. So conventional reality and ultimate reality. Without conventional reality, there is no ultimate reality. Without ultimate reality, there is no conventional reality. They depend on each other's. And they are same entity. Same entity. They depend on each other's. Again, if we try to look from mutual dependent arising, also we can say, something's ultimate truth in relation to conventional truth or relative truth. If there is no relative truth or conventional truth, we cannot say this is ultimate truth. In the same way, we cannot talk something being a relative or conventional truth if there is no ultimate truth. Just like we cannot talk something small if there is no tall. We cannot talk something tall if there's no short. Long and short, small and big. We cannot say something is big if there's nothing small. We cannot talk about something small if there's nothing big. In the same way, ultimate and conventional or relative is again, in relation to the ultimate, there's conventional. In related to the conventional, then there's ultimate. And therefore, again, they are mutually dependent arisings. And so therefore, they cannot exist. The conventional world cannot exist conventional without the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality cannot exist as an ultimate reality without the conventional reality. So again, they both are dependent on each other. They both are depending on each other in that way also that way too. Just as being produced and impermanent, so again, something that is being produced and something that's impermanent, again, they are same entity, They are describing same entity with a, slightly different. It is describing when you talk about something impermanent or produced, we are talking about the same thing from different point of view, different, but they are same entity. Maybe the example of two sides of the one coin might be, without the tail, there wouldn't be the head. Without the head, there wouldn't be the tail. But there is tail because there's head. There's head because there's tail. but they are same part of the same coin, not separate coin, same coin. So same way, it is same. They are same entity, And so this is same as form is not other than emptiness, emptiness not other than form. And the challenges, the difficult and challenges to have a correct, unmistaken realization of emptiness, and to be able to find a middle way is that, when you see the empty, you cannot see the conventional world. When you see the conventional world, you are unable to see the emptiness, and that is the way it is. So when you see the emptiness at the same time, you see the emptiness at the same time, you are able to see the conventional world, the functioning of that object. To be able to see, while you see the objects and functioning due to cause, condition, factors, there's the object functioning of that conventional. At the same time, you are able to see emptiness in that without seeing them as inherent existence, and that is the challenge. That is a difficult point for. That is why, understanding emptiness correctly become not so easy to find that middle way. That's right. Okay. The convention, the 69. The conventional arise from affliction karma. Here, I think the conventional meaning the suffering. Okay. One of the conventional phenomena experience. So, all conventional samsara or suffering arise from affliction and karma, so the suffering and the samsara, both samsara and suffering, but they both are conventional phenomena. Such samsara or the suffering, arises from affliction and karma. And the karma arises from the mind, So here, karma arises from the mind, especially the three delusional afflictive emotions. The karma arises from those afflictive emotions. And the mind is accumulated by propensities, and that afflictive emotions or afflictive mind is accumulated or arise from the propensity of the ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. So again, it is similar to in his another writing, I think, fundamental treatise, where he talked. The nirvana is when is free from the karma and the delusions. And the karma and the afflictive emotions or delusion arises from, fabricating or fabricating thought, perceptions. And such fabricating thought or perception arise from the delusions, from the ignorance. So I think, again, here is the way it is put slightly different, but it is here he's saying same thing, And in that, then he said, "Let and such the karma, afflictive emotion, the root of those afflictive emotions, the ignorance can be overcome by understanding the emptiness." So again, as you know, due to our previous imprint of the ignorance, there is the propensity or the potential of that ignorance, self-grasping. And then due to that imprint, self-grasping arises. And due to arising of that self-grasping ignorance, then, you know, other delusions or afflictive emotions such as anger, attachment arises. And due to arising of the attachment, anger, and the ignorance, then we engage into actions, contaminated actions, or create contaminated karma. And due to creations of that contaminated karma and negative karma, then we take rebirth in samsara and experience the suffering in that samsara. So that is what it is. Again, here also describing the dependent arisings, you know, dependent arisings. That self-grasping ignorance is a result of previous imprint. So it's dependent on previous imprint. Also, that self-grasping produce the delusions, such other delusions such as anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, so forth. You know. And such anger and attachment and jealousy, pride, they arise from the ignorance, self-grasping ignorance, produced by that. Also, those afflictive emotions, they produce actions, you know, create due to them, then karma or actions are created through any of the three doors. And due to having created different actions, that is dependent on those afflictive emotions, that action produce different result. So again, you know, all of them are dependent on many cause, conditions, many factors, how one thing lead to the next lead to the next, that lead to the next. How everything come into existence. You know, one existence lead to the next existence, the next, due to coming together of many cause and conditions. How each of them are depending on many cause, condition, and factors. How each of them cannot come into the existence without depending on all other factors and conditions. Yeah, maybe today I will maybe stop here and maybe I can take a couple of questions if there is any questions.
Anybody here in the group?
Or anyone on the Zoom as well. If not, then we can do the dedication. Yes, please.
I'm Mark.
So phenomena continue to exist, and from the ultimate perspective, they exist, but not inherently. They're like a dream. So when you look around and see the dream, it kind of breaks their cause and effect that you believe in. I mean, they exist, but only very briefly, and so it means that they can that the ultimate reality can kind of be reborn as more phenomena, but not in kind of line with the cause and effect that your imprint expects. Does that make any sense?
Let me just try to explain if it clarifies a little bit. When we analyze this, within the parts of object that make that objects, you cannot locate, we cannot pinpoint, you cannot find with that kind of ultimate analysis. Therefore, nothing exists ultimately. But even though we cannot find with such ultimate analysis, but due to coming together of many conditions, factors, there's a functioning of that object, and it affects different phenomena, different, whether it's being or non-being, it affects different other phenomena. And so therefore, there is even though they are not ultimately existing, even though they cannot be found with that ultimate analysis and cannot, therefore, there's no ultimately existing, but there is a conventional existing because due to coming together of many factors and conditions, there's a functioning and that it affects many other phenomena. And so that true reality does not contradict each other's. One, where there is due to many causes and conditions, the functioning of that phenomena and having a different effect, while it is happening at the same time, when you analyze the ultimate analysis within that object, it cannot be found, and that is the ultimate reality of that object. At the same time, there's a conventional functioning and conventional reality. So that is one thing. But the example, like a dream, is in the dream, I can have dream, of eating a pizza. But I'm not really eating a pizza, it's just a dream. Even in my dream, I might not know I'm dreaming and I might feel like that is real. I'm really eating pizza. But in reality, I'm not really eating a pizza, it's just a dream, And when you wake up, or you realize it's a dream, So when I didn't realize before in the dream, when I don't realize those dreams, I might be better attached to that. Once I awake and I see it is just a dream, I wouldn't be attached to that pizza because I know it is just a pizza in a dream, not real pizza. Same, someone might be, kind of let's say in my dream, someone might be, kind of abusing, insulting, whatever that's, physically, verbally, whatever. And when you don't realize it is a dream, in dream, if you are not aware it's a dream and you feel it's real, you might be going through a lot of emotions, fear, emotions. Even when you get up, maybe you might be shaking, from that, because you didn't realize it was. But once you get up, awake, and you realize, oh, it was just a dream, you don't feel the same way. Because, so same way, that is how we try to see everything like a dream. So once you were able to see there like a dream, when we encounter something unpleasant, we don't get so emotionally very strongly upset and strongly anger and all of that. When we encounter certain objects, pleasant object, we don't get so strongly attached to that because we see it's like a dream. It's not real. But when we don't understand they are like a dream, but if we see and feel they are real, then there will be more stronger emotions. With a pleasant object, stronger attachment, and pleasant object, stronger dislike and aversion, and so forth. Okay. So that will be the last question. Yeah. No.
Well, the pizza example is interesting because actually the pizza doesn't exist until the mind names it. So the pizza and the dream are in fact the same. Neither really is real. Correct?
On ultimate level, they are same,
Right.
but on conventional, they are not
There's-
same.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is why we have two realities. Otherwise, then that is why the Buddha talked about two realities, not just one reality, and Nagarjuna, because in ultimate, they all are same taste. They all are same. Just like in Hasutra said, in emptiness, there's no form, no feeling, no discrimination. All of that is, but on conventional level, there is form, there is feeling, there is, and they are different. They are not exactly same.
Okay, so 69, the second line in both the Jinpa and Rabshi translations, if you could clarify, because they're really actually quite different. In Jinpa, and it is from the mind that karma manifests. Manifest is a result. And in the second translation, and karma arises from the mind, that's from within the mind. So what does the Tibetan say, or the Sanskrit, or whatever? They're very different.
Well, I don't know so much difference in terms of arising or manifesting, but the way it is translated in Tibetan, it is, sometimes it is translated being produced by the mind. Karma is being produced by the mind, or karma arises from the mind. Karma is the result of the mind, or karma is manifestations of the mind. So I don't know. In English, it might be different, but I think in meaning of this, I think that is it's a result of due to the mind. Then karma is created. Without the mind, the actions or karma cannot be created. The karma is being created because the mind, depending on the mind. Yeah. So it would be more like a cause and result. Yeah, we can do the dedications.
Devadinyu Lama Sangye Gyurne Ruvachikam Malupa Deyin Sava Gurvarsho Jamtu Sencho Rinpoche Make Pana Ke Kyoshe Kewa Nyampa Me Paya Kong Le Kong Tu Pe Warsho Gangri Ra Wei Korwei Shinkam De Pendang Dewa Malu Jongwei Tenrei Zegwang Tenzin Gatsoyi Sabe Site Bardu Tengyo Chi. Prayer for the swift return. A peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings. Through the explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of the Bodhichitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.